education. He also, I called him schizophrenic because he had 2 chairs at the university. He also was a professor of pharmaceutics. But he also set up a nonprofit organization that provided continuing education to pharmacists all over the United States, hence our extensive travel. And the collection of frequent flyer points eventually, and then, you know, one thing leads to another. He also taught ethics, and that's what actually got us together. My doctoral dissertation was on ethics and counseling, and he taught and wrote extensively in ethics. Published over 100 articles, a couple of books, and so on. Also, if any of you know anything about pharmacy, he's got chapters in what they call the Remington, which is like the resource book for pharmacists. It's one of those big, thick things that every pharmacy has on the shelf. He continued to teach ethics after he retired, and the school let him have an office there. But he dedicated 4 days a week to photography between 92 and 94. In 94, he literally became ill overnight. June 30, the night I retired, he suddenly became blind. That's the first symptom of CJD. We had no clue. We did not know anything about it. That's what they call today mad cow disease. Mad cow disease, and he died September 5. So he was about 2 months and a week. It happened very quickly. We had no idea that it was happening. What I put in the book is a list of the activities in descending order of time. One of the things that Wayne and I discovered is that he was really prolific and active in the last 2 years of his life. And he won national exposure literally a month before he died. He was already in the hospital, and the whole family came with champagne and a copy of the picture, and we put banners and all kind of things in his room, and we sang and everything, and the nurses thought we were crazy. And he didn't know what was going on, and one of the nurses came in and said, "What's happening?" And he said, "I think I did something good, but I'm not sure what it is." So that was the last thing. And he wanted, the picture was taken in 93, and he won it in August 94, and he died September 5. There's a long list of awards that he wore, everything, Virginia, Yorktown, Susquehanna, you know, all kind of galleries, really just unusual exhibit. He finally got the courage to go ahead and start sending in. And the way you do it is you send in slides. So we were constantly mailing slides here and there. And it was amazing how many he won. He also, since he was retired, became very involved in a local association. It's a Virginia Association of Photographic Arts. It's called VESPA. Became very involved in VESPA, and actually started curating and helping other photographers. He was forever the mentor, you know, the teacher, the mentor. So his last 2 years were very prolific. He enjoyed his photography, and that's what he did. He participated, he was not afraid of jury exhibits. He wanted feedback. He used to call it criticism. I didn't like the word criticism. I said it's feedback. It's not negative. But what Wayne and I found is that those last 2-3 years were the ones where really a lot happened. He did a lot of work during those years. Any questions?
I think you ought to teach a class in Osher with these pictures. That would be a wonderful class. Geography, we learn the geography of the world.
It would be.
But you're showing us pictures of places, so we don't.
And there are a lot more.
Oh, you wouldn't believe. There are 35,000.
But you know, to see it on the map where it is and to see a picture.
I have a map of the world in my utility room with pins. And the grandchildren love to come and see it.
I bet so. Do you take photographs?
might take a little bit today. I never did while he was alive. We went on a trip 2 months before we got married, and when we came back, he showed me his pictures, I showed him my picture, and I said, where'd you take these? And we took them in the same place, and they didn't look the same way. So I gave my camera away to a girlfriend, and I never owned a camera while he was alive.
But you took pictures of him
with his camera. He would set it up for me, and I would take it. Because those you had to set up, you had to have the hairlines and everything fit just right. Yeah. But I only took pictures of him taking pictures because I wanted him to see how he looked.
I think what you were observing is what I certainly observed too when we sat down and went through this. Hilda was a wonderful student of the photography journey that Werner took, and she's pretty well embraced it, and she can really relate the story with great authenticity. So that's a good suggestion, Hilda.
Thank you. I know Jane would love you. By the way, I want to mention this. I know it's a picture everybody's seen in a lot of places, and some of you may have seen it in real life. It's the Grand Canyon. And the Grand Canyon, on a clear day, has 200 to 300 mile visibility. As a pilot, this is important to me. That's from what they call Hopi Point, which is on the southern rim. It's the highest point at the Grand Canyon. We sat there 6 days. I read 2 books, waiting for the clouds to be just right to his satisfaction. And that won an award. And the comment of the award givers was, it's a common picture in an uncommon format. I mean, they were really impressed with what he did with it, but that's what it was. It was the Grand Canyon. Now, we all have seen pictures of the Grand Canyon everywhere, textbooks and so on. 6 days.
You can see his passion.
Yes.
Hilda and I went through this project. We got started back in the early 90s, and you can see the momentum. His early on photography work was in the amateur modes. He was picking up the camera, starting to work on it. And seven years later, he was there. He developed it. He had a passion for it, and really 6 days, really went after these with a vengeance. Did a wonderful job. What Hilda did say, and kind of a wrap up here, she took this project on and wanted to do it as a tribute to Werner.
Oh, yeah.
Consequently has made a contribution of a lot of books to the School of Pharmacy at VCU in Werner's honor. And there was a celebration back in April to receive that donation, and Hilda was there with it. How many books, Hilda?
1,000.
1,000 books.
All the proceeds go to scholarships at the School of Pharmacy. And they go specifically to a scholarship that is going to a person to people, students, PhD students who do research and neurologically based genetic diseases, which is what he died of.
1,000 of these books?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we've had a lot of success with it at the School of Pharmacy. They have quite a few of them. We've had people just walk in and buy a whole bunch of them, realtors to give them as gifts to people, when they buy a house and so on. We've had one person walked in and bought 15. Also as gifts, some people already called me and said, I'm going to want so many for Christmas gifts. It's original, it's Virginia, but yet it's national. This is a man who won national award. And won it very quickly.
It's also international. It's all over the world.
Yeah, yeah. I sat for almost an hour and signed books about a month ago. It was wonderful. It was a wonderful experience. And since the graphic artist chose to do the author's page in black, that's the author's page, I do the signing with a silver pen for contrast, so I have silver pens.